So they automatically.
I think so.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Chi Alpha. Anybody there?
We're here.
Connect.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Good.
Hey, if you're there, give us a shout out. Also, question for the night. What activity has been the most fun during the stay home time? Give us your thoughts. Unless the chat feature's not working. I don't know. Not exactly sure.
Who's next to our tech guru, Bethany?
Well, I think we're on. 8 people watching.
Oh, they were live. Okay.
7. Uh-oh.
Welcome.
So, Kelly, what's been your favorite activity during the stay-home time?
Well, I think the most fun I had was my birthday was recently, and my parents and my sister came up into town, and we hung out, and we had food, and we actually had 2 birthday cakes, so we put candles on the first cake, and I blew them out, and they sang me happy birthday, and did the clap, and then we played cards, and then when it was time to eat the second cake, we put the candles in the second cake and lit them, and I blew them out, and they sang me happy birthday again, and then we kept going, so that was super fun.
It's a big birthday when you get 2 cakes.
That's right.
Well, my favorite activity has been, I went fishing the other day on Saturday. Tried Lake Mary for trout, caught this many, and had this many bites. And so after 6 hours of futility, I moved on to Ashurst to try trout, and I caught this many in 2 hours.
And then he cooked them and we ate them.
And they were delicious. So that's probably the most fun that I've had. I don't know if our chat feature is working. Doesn't look like it. Which could take a little bit of the fun out of tonight. Anyway, we'll just keep going.
All right.
So this week marks the 3-year anniversary of the loss of a family member. My brother-in-law was killed 3 years ago on this day on his way to work. He was riding his motorcycle. There was someone in a hurry who had THC in his system from being high the night before and tried to pass a truck on a double yellow, and my brother-in-law tried to avoid the truck and pretty much died instantly 3 years ago. And that really shook our family, especially my sister and her kids. And it's been 3 years of dealing with grief. 3 years sounds like a long time, but I can remember it like it was this morning. So time passes, but grief remains. I lost a couple of aunts this year. So I have cousins that are still grieving deeply the loss of their mothers and grandmothers. And One of my friends in campus ministry just went through the year anniversary of the death of her mother to cancer. And I talked to her a bit, and grief remains, the heaviness remains, questions remain. We had questions in the moment, why God? And those questions haven't been answered. We don't have answers, but we've come to a place of peace. C.S. Lewis was wrestling with these same kinds of questions. Is God really good? Following the death of his wife to cancer. Kelly, would you read his conclusions?
He said, "Not that I am, I think, in much danger of ceasing to believe in God. The real danger is of coming to believe such dreadful things about him. The conclusion I dread is not, so there's no God after all, but so this is what God's really like. Deceive yourself no longer."
Yeah. On average, about 80,000 people die on the earth. And I don't grieve for most of them, to be honest. Why is that? It doesn't mean they're not important. It means that I don't know them. Because grief, here's a principle, grief is proportionate to intimacy. But you already know this. The closer you are to someone, the more it impacts you when they die. You can read the obituaries in the paper or online, and you can wonder who this person was, but you don't really grieve for them if you didn't know them. In fact, after my brother-in-law was killed, I started noticing the crosses on the side of the freeways and the highways. And it made me wonder, who was that person? Who did they leave behind? Are they still remembered? Are they still missed? Kelly, you've also lost family members. Whose death has been the hardest for you?
Yeah, all my grandparents have passed away, and I was alive. They were alive when I was younger. I remember all of them, and that was really difficult for me as a person. And I've lost some cousins, but I think honestly for me, Ben's death, our brother-in-law's death, was the most difficult for me. It just felt really out of order. He was young, had 3 kids at home, and so there was something significant about that. And then